Unmeasured is not a traditional tutorial. It's more like a micro course in versatility. This is meant to be a confidence builder and idea booster. This is shooting from the hip baking at its finest. If fast-paced videos that get directly to the point are what you're after, then you best keep on scrolling. However, if you want insight, tips, and whimsical storytelling from Amanda, the owner of Do What Desserts, a food truck and bakery with decades of experience, then you're in the right place.
Okay, so we are going to make a pound cake. The pound cake is for my ex-mother-in-law. I am still friends with my ex-husbands. I have two. This one is for the second ex-husband. I know his mother's birthday is St. Patrick's Day, and he is having a dinner for her tonight. I won't be going. I was not invited. We do not get along. I can't stand to be around her, but I'm gonna make her a pound cake. She doesn't like anything with like icings or flavors or whatever. She likes pound cake, so we're gonna do a pound cake. And I figured I would take this opportunity to maybe mention my ex-mother-in-laws, my relationship with them. So we're gonna do 1.5 cups of butter. Sometimes in my recipes I'll use shortening, but for something that is going to be like pound cake and that butter is going to be the main flavor, I actually use like butter. All right, so let's see. My first mother-in-law, I started dating my first husband when I was 14 and he was an adult. So we lived in Florida and I never really met her. I mean, I met her a couple of times. All I know about her is I don't think she approved of us dating because of my age. I have no idea. She did not come to our wedding. We'd moved up to North Carolina by then and got married at the courthouse and had a little reception at my grandmother's house, but I was still underaged, and his sister came, which was really nice, but I never really had a relationship with his family. Maybe I think one night I spent the night at his mom's house, maybe after we got married, but we never really talked. Don't really remember much about her. She wasn't very warming or welcoming. Then again, I am kind of awkward, but I was underage, so I don't know. We never really interacted. All right, let's cream the butter. Okay. So it was room temperature butter, so it was perfect. Just kind of loosened it up a little. We'll scrape the bowl and we'll add the sugar. We're gonna add 1.5 cups of sugar. So my second, I guess you would consider mother-in-law. My therapist said that I should consider him like a husband since we were together for 5 years and we lived together for 5 years and all that kind of stuff. Kind of the same situation as my first one. Never really interacted that much. She lives out of state, so when he went to visit her a couple times, I went. I stayed at their house. She seemed friendly, not sure if she liked me. Again, not much interaction. Now, I will tell you, when he left me for the last time, apparently she came down with a U-Haul, and while I went off to work and had no idea that he was leaving, she helped him pack up his stuff from the house and take it. So, I don't know if she was just doing him a favor. She was glad he was leaving. I have no idea. Didn't really talk with her. Okay, we're gonna do 1.5 cups of sugar. So, cup and half. That looks like about 1.5 cups. Cream it. Get all the lumps out and make sure it's all incorporated. Okay, this is much easier with a stand mixer. But for the sake of videoing, I'm using a hand mixer, so that's pretty much incorporated. Now we are going to add some eggs. We've got 6 eggs for this. I'm going to crack the eggs in a cup first, so I don't get any eggshells in. And we will compost the eggshells. Okay, so my second marriage, I absolutely consider a rebound relationship from the last guy. It was a very abusive relationship, and my second husband was really sweet. So I kind of gravitated towards that, even though after a lot of therapy, I realized that that was not really what I was attracted to. Anyway, so his mother lived out of state. He had recently moved to North Carolina. That's where I met him. She lived like in New Jersey or something like that. Oh my gosh, she was a piece of work. A piece of work. Still is. All right, incorporate one at a time. All right, now we're going to add the flavors. We'll add some vanilla. I probably like to add more extracts than I should, but... And then I always like to add butter extract. And I know this is supposed to be like a plain cake with no flavor, but I might add just a teeny bit of rum extract. Let me grab that. Okay, we won't add too much of this because Lord knows she'll be able to taste it and I'll have to hear about it. So it's just a little bit of imitation rum flavor. Okay, so we first started dating and he'd never been married before and he was a lot older. He is a lot older than I am. And so I never met her. Yeah, I knew he talked to her a lot. And a couple times she came down and I did meet her. I got the feeling she didn't like me very much. She's been here like 100 years and still apparently cannot speak English. So she always acts like, you know, what'd you say? I didn't understand what you said. Although I really do think she does understand. And she always talks about herself. Never ever asks questions about anybody else. It's her, what she's done, what she's done, what she's done, what she's done. It drives me absolutely crazy. Okay, so we got the extract in. Now we're going to add the flour and the baking powder and the salt. A lot of people will tell you to add all that stuff in a bowl separately and mix it and then like add it in a little bit at a time. But since this is just 1 pound cake, I'm probably not going to mix up that stuff separately. I'll just kind of throw it in on top of this. Okay, so we're going to do about 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And we'll do a teaspoon of salt. I always use sea salt. And we'll do baking powder. We'll do almost a teaspoon of baking powder. If you do too much, it's going to be all puffy. And if you don't do enough, it really won't rise. So, yeah, okay. We'll do that. And we'll mix it in, but not too much. Just want to kind of get it incorporated, not whipped. Okay, so we want to give it a little more flavor and keep it nice and moist. So we're going to add some sour cream. Add maybe a little over a half a cup of sour cream. And I just happen to have some yogurt, so we'll add some of that too. You can do either or. If I had to choose between the two, I would pick sour cream, but since I have yogurt, I'll just add a little yogurt too. All right, and we're just gonna fold that in. Okay, so don't think she really liked me too much. I am white and I'm not Catholic. So those two things were going against me, and I'm not sure if she had an issue with me being younger than him, but he'd never been married before. I'd been married before. I always felt like I was like the tainted one and I was never good enough for him. When we got married, she was at the wedding and she was crying hysterically the whole time, and not like happy tears. These were like, my baby, you're taking my baby. Meanwhile, he's like in his 40s, like late 40s or something. I don't even, it might have even been older than that. But it was clear she was not happy about it. And she's also the type of person to talk crap about you behind your back like a lot of crap. So if somebody's talking crap about somebody else behind their back, they're talking crap about you. And I had some friends at the wedding that are from Mexico, and they're clearly my friends, like good friends. And she was talking crap about me at my wedding to my friends, like that wouldn't get back to me. So anyway, enough about her, even though I'm making her pound cake right now. That was just not a good fit. She was just nasty to me, as much as I tried to be nice to her. Now, I'm going to put this in a pan and get it in the oven. And when it comes out of the oven and I'm preparing it, I will talk about my current mother-in-law, because as bad as my second/third one was, this last one was like, hold my beer. Okay, so pound cake normally goes into a loaf pan, or you can use a bundt pan. I want to use this. I like this because it's silicone and it pops out better, and I don't have to worry about any of the cake sticking. Even though it's silicone, I still like to spray it. And I still like to flour it. Shake the flour around. Get it real good up on the sides and all the cracks. Kind of dump extra out, okay? And we'll put it in. Then we're gonna put it in the oven at 350, I don't know, for maybe around 40 minutes. I'll check it in 20 minutes and I'll turn it because my oven has a hot spot. Most ovens do, so it'd probably be a good idea to figure out where your hot spot is. Mine is in the back left corner. So halfway through when I turn it, I'll do 180 on it so it cooks evenly. Spread it out a little bit, not too much. And because this is silicone, I'm gonna put it on a baking sheet because I don't wanna like pick it up and have it like spill out, which it will. So on a baking sheet and into the oven. Okay, so it's starting to get brown around the edges. I don't think it's done because I shook the cookie tray and it like still looks like it's got a little jiggle in the middle. But we're gonna test it anyway. So you can use a toothpick. I don't like toothpicks because they don't go all the way in. So just get a little cake tester. They're super cheap and you'll use it for years. You'll stick it in the middle slowly. Make sure it goes all the way in and then you'll pull it out. Okay, so I was wrong. It is ready. If it doesn't have anything on it when it comes out, it's ready. If it has like crumbs on it, it's ready too. If it has batter sticking to the metal, it is not ready and it needs to go back in. So I'm gonna test it again. I mean, it was probably right, but I'll test it in a couple places just to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Yep, coming out clean. Clean, clean, clean. I don't know why, but I always touch it. Okay. That looks pretty good. So once something cake consistency comes out of the oven, I always put simple syrup on it while it's still hot so that it remains moist. I have this little container. Sometimes I use spray bottles because less comes out, but these little pory containers are good. I think it's like for condiments or something, but I put a little tiny bit of water in there, and then you can make your own simple syrup by putting hot water and sugar together until the sugar melts. You can use that. You can use a little vanilla extract in it, whatever you want. But I go the easy route and I use this like syrup that people like put in their coffees and stuff. So I do a little bit of water. I'll do a couple pumps of that syrup. Shake it. And then I just lightly put it over there. Especially the edges, because obviously those are what dries out first. And you don't want to put too much on it because you don't want it soggy, but you want to put some moisture back in the cake now that it's cooked. Okay, I'm going to let it cool. Okay, folks, let's wrap this cake up. So where was I? Second husband, mother, clearly did not think I was good enough for him, and she made it super obvious all the time. So now we are at my current husband's mother. I don't even consider her a mother-in-law. Oh my gosh, where to begin? Long story short, we do not have a relationship with his family other than his aunt. She is super duper nice, really, really sweet. She's the only one that welcomed me into the family. She's not judgmental. She's super sweet to Adam. He loves her to death. She doesn't judge him. She's super understanding. In the beginning, I met his sister, and I guess she decided she didn't like me. Don't know why. I am liberal. I was pregnant and single when Adam and I started dating. I don't think his family believed that I got pregnant by artificial insemination and I was not in a relationship or got knocked up. And I'm quite older than he is, so there was a lot they didn't like about me right off the bat. His sister rules the roost with them, so when she decided she didn't like me, no coming back from that. I tried. They were just really nasty, toxic people. It almost cost us our marriage at one point, and then they're out of our lives, which has made things a lot better. What's the saying? You can pick your family or can't pick your family or something like that. Even though they're family doesn't mean that you need to put up with them. Both of my children are part of the LGBTQ plus ... community. They do not accept that. It's just, they're very narrow-minded, and so I have no relationship with her. And I joke around all the time that if I do get married again, I'm going to meet the mother first and make my decisions based on that. But anyway, okay, so it's still warm, so I hope this doesn't bite me, but I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna put this under it, or actually on top, and flip it. All right, let's flip it. Center it. Oh no, fingers crossed. This is always the question part. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, it's still steaming a bit. We'll let it air out. All right, we'll go ahead and make the drizzle for it. There are a few ways you can do this. I'm just gonna make a simple icing. You can use confectioner sugar, powdered sugar with vanilla extract or milk or heavy cream. Heavy cream's really good. Even water if you want. But the way I make it is with coffee creamer, vanilla coffee creamer. I love cooking with vanilla coffee creamer. It's thick, it's sweet, it's just delicious. So one mistake I have learned multiple times the hard way is I'll pour the vanilla or creamer or liquid into a cup first, and then I'll start adding the powdered sugar to try to get it to the right consistency. And inevitably I have put too much liquid in, and no matter how much powdered sugar I add, it is not enough. So we are going to go the other way, the correct way. We will put some powdered sugar. It's going to shrink up a lot, and I like to use extra. So we'll see if that's good. And then you can use a fork or a spoon. I've got a mini whisk. Okay, I am wrong. I do not know where my mini whisk is. So because I don't have that whisk to get the lumps out really good, I'm actually going to take the time to do something, an extra step. So take a colander. Oh, and patiently get the powdered sugar through there. Okay, if you have more patience than I, you can do this, and then that will help with the lumps. But apparently, no matter how hard I try, I don't have the patience for it. Okay, powdered sugar. Let's start adding a little teeny tiny bit at a time, the liquid. If your cake is too warm when you put the drizzle on, then it's just going to melt off, and it won't stay this kind of thick white consistency. So I can still see some powdered sugar, but if I do it much more, it's going to be too runny. That's a good consistency. I still have some lumps in it. I mean, I hope she enjoys this. Everything I make for people, I hope they enjoy, whether or not I get along with the person. But I'm telling you, I get along with everybody except my ex's families. I do not understand it. The cake is still a little bit warm, but we're going to put some on and see how it goes. I do like this cake mold too, because it makes cutting really easy. Actually, these just kind of pull apart. We're going to drizzle some on, and because it's still warm, it's probably going to melt right in, but we'll see. You can also put lemon juice or whatever flavoring you want. I'm still going to be a little bit cautious, and I'm going to hold off for like the second half until I know it's cool all the way. But this, if that melts in, that's completely fine. All right, I'll come back once it's cooled off a little bit. Okay, it's only a couple minutes later, and I'm liking the way it looks because I don't want it to be too cold, because then it won't melt at all. And I like the way it's running down. So in my usual fashion, I'm going to put way too much icing on, like I always do. All right, I'm going to put it on, and then I might just sprinkle a little powdered sugar on top. And we'll cover it up, call it a day. He'll pick it up later. I hope they enjoy it. Normally I'd kind of just sprinkle it with my hands, but since I already had this out and it's already dirty and I'm going to have to wash it, I might as well actually use it. So here we go. And done. Call it a day. See ya.